Alright, YouTube, so huge day for us Epic 7 players out there. There's been a reason why we actually haven't had a lot of content. Looks like Smilegate was cooking up something in the lab for the update coming in about a week and a half, 2 weeks. And this was what was showcased or previewed a couple hours ago. I kind of waited for it to be over to show you guys because I didn't want to make it like a 2-hour video. So I'm just going to kind of skip ahead and go to the main points. If you guys want to see the original video where you can like see it for yourself, you can check it up on the what's it called, Epic 7 official YouTube here. So basically what's happening is new episodes coming out, but it's going to be featuring a new character here, and that character you just saw teased is going to be Ross. So basically they're kind of going back into the original world and doing the story there. And you can see that we have a different Ross. Will this be ML Ross? Who knows? But it's Genesis Ross from the 6th world. So Epic 7, the 7 stands for the 7th world. Now we're going back to the 6th world. And I do believe in the 6th world, like, the bad guys won. Not really too sure what that means for this, but this is what we're going back to. It's going to be Genesis Ross. You can see like there's like a sky stone as his heart, which is pretty interesting. And we're going to see, and he's probably going to be super overpowered. He just looks really strong. And that is ML Ross most likely coming. It might be a different one. But there's a lot of changes coming with this patch, right? You saw we just had different guides for growing your characters. There's like a class summon coming out alongside the element summon, which will be very cool. I think this is very good change because a lot of people might be lacking one of a certain class, especially new players. If you need like a good healer, you can go for Soul Weavers. If you want a good damage dealer, you can choose behind Rangers, Mages, or Thieves, depending on what you want. If you want like a good bruiser, you can go for like Warriors class summons. Also Lunatic Draft Mode, up to 38 bans. This is going to be for World Arena, which is going to be very interesting and change up the atmosphere. There's the Ogre's Armory, which can craft more pieces. New Rift, of course, coming out. The animations look amazing, of course. That is what Epic 7 is built upon. And just a lot of other things coming out. Epic Kill Nightmare Eternity. Not really too sure what that means. Trial of the Constellations. Yeah, basically kind of like a new Epic 7 is coming out. And this is the first update, so there's more to come. It kind of feels like they're doing an expansion on the game, if I'm being honest. Maybe that's why they weren't really updating before, because they're working on like this quote-unquote expansion. It just is a complete overhaul of the game. Of course, your account progression is still going to be saved, but it really does feel like we're going to be playing a different game, and the game is evolving. And I'm super excited, actually. I can't even get into words about it. So basically, this is a lot of war stuff. New episode coming out featuring Krau. You can see this is the 6th world Krau. Looks like a badass. You're also going to see that characters from artifacts will be playable now. So this is Hilag's Lance, a 4-star artifact. This is going to be the character from it, and you're going to be able to play her. She'll be summonable. So pretty interesting. A lot of the artifact characters you're going to see are going to be playable here. And I think it shows her animation. Yeah, this is her animation. Looks pretty insane, honestly. She's really destroying that Earth Expedition boss. But yeah, new storytelling, new voice actors and stuff like that. So very interested in that. You're also going to see, there's a lot of different rewards for all of these episodes now. And what's very interesting is usually when they release new episodes, you're going to see that they usually like do it from left to right, but the origin episode is going to be on the far left. So it's like the main story. So it really feels like they're trying to revamp the game completely, right? There's a lot of rewards here. I don't want to go into the nitty gritty about it because it's very like brief how they explain it. But basically new episodes, new stories, huge graphics and system updates for pretty much everything about the game. Even this is just the Sanctuary. You can see it looks a lot different, a lot better and more updated, I'd say. And you can see you can just get a ton of stuff from Daily Reputation, including Sky Stones, Charms, and stuff like that. And you can even get like Mulagora and stuff like that as well from Sanctuary. So pretty good changes here. Not really too sure how it's going to work, but basically you can just get a ton of stuff. And it looks like you'll be able to choose what you want as well at the start of every month, which is very interesting. And you can even see that they said that they're removing the need to craft equipment below 85. And what they mean by that is 70 gear, 55 gear will be pretty much removed because they're reducing the hunt stages to 3 stages, I believe. So it's not going to be like level 1 to 13. It's just going to be easy, normal, and hard, I believe. So you'll be able to get into hunt farming a lot more easier. I think that was way overdue. Arena rewards are going up with conquest points. Basically, just everything that you can get in the game already is just going up. And yeah, it's going to be very interesting. Breath of Orbis will now automatically be upgraded to max level. You don't need to farm these anymore. Very, very good. EXP improvements are going up, and yeah, there's a ton of stuff about the voice actors as well. But like I mentioned, you can see, the hunts are listed here. There's only going to be 3 stages. UI is completely different. There's like a guide now for what you should progress through. You can see that Wyvern Hunt is recommended. It's probably for a new account. And you can even see, just a ton of stuff here, a ton of quests that you can do to get, rewards to actually help you with what you're doing. Adventurer's Path is also being updated, so you can get a lot of different stuff, which is very cool. They're adding stages and updating it. There's going to be, this Orbis guide, which will include these hunt guides and the Mulagora guides. Basically, if you already completed them, I don't know if you'll be able to do it again, but I'm pretty sure you won't be able to. So maybe you can actually if you do it twice. So very interested about that. But catalysts are also being changed pretty wildly, I'd say. They're just talking about how constellations require different catalysts. So now they're just going to be divided on hero classes, I believe. And it says all catalysts in your inventory will be converted into catalyst selection chests in equal amounts. So this is huge. This means whatever catalyst you have, you can turn them into wild cards and use it for whatever. But basically, all catalysts will be farmable in the Book of Memories from Unrecorded History, and now, it'll be separated based on your class, whether your constellation is, something or the other. Constellations will pretty much only be used for base stats now, which is very interesting. Like I mentioned before, Ogre's Armory, it's basically like this treasure, the goblin thing that came out before. This was really bad, by the way, so I don't know if the Ogre's Armory will be worse, but it looks like it's kind of the same thing. And they said it's like a stepping stone, so this is not going to be something for endgame players, mostly for early game players that need just some mediocre equipment to get through the game, right? Labyrinth is also being reworked. Labyrinth is entirely outdated. No one really does it anymore. They're talking about the compasses here. These usually actually would restore daily. So now after the update, everything is going to be available. So that's very, very nice. There's no daily limit, weekly limit. So you can actually play the game, right? I really hated waiting. Time getting stuff was pretty annoying. But you can see that the rewards are going to be very good. And yeah, even though it might not be endgame content anymore, you'll be able to still do it as a newer player and get stuff. And maybe some of the pieces are still worth going for because, they're just going to be decent. And you can also see that UI, QOL changes, all coming to the game. So this is what it looks like currently. And now they're going to fix it by doing something like this. So you can see everything on the left here, everything on the right, a lot more updated. A lot of newer games have this accessible, and I'm pretty sure you can actually, change the background still to how you like it. If you like the old lobby, you can do it. And, just a lot of other, stuff coming. So that's what's coming for the 10th. Now you're going to see what's coming after. So I think Class Summon is coming a little bit later. But you're also going to see a lot of these characters in the artifacts will be available as summons now. And you're going to see that there's going to be different types of banners. So the first class summon banner is going to be available from the 24th of April. So it looks like they're rotating it. I don't think you can choose, but you rotate it and you can just summon for it. And very, very interesting. You can summon for knight, artifacts, and heroes. I think that's how it works. I'm not really too sure how it works. If anyone can explain. The class summon will... Okay, anyways. So basically you can summon for a class like artifacts and heroes at the same time. There's also this new content coming out where you can, fight new bosses to get, a lot more mats. There's a lot of stuff coming out, basically. Different bosses, different content. A lot of UI updates, a lot of characters, different episodes, huge reworks to systems and UI. But there's a new system that's coming that's this constellation system that will actually make certain heroes stronger, which is very interesting that you can use in this content here for the trial of constellation. So there's a ton of stuff coming here. I don't really want to cover it all in depth because there's so much stuff I have to talk about today. But basically that's what's coming. This is the celebration awards for viewing the showcase here. There's a special epilogue video that I'll show you, and yeah, there's a lot of stuff free materials. I'm not really too sure how you get these rewards. I don't know if they tell you. Yeah, there's a check-in event. Okay, cool. And this is just kind of like the PV What does that even mean? Anyways, it's like the video that's like animating like new characters. You can see like this is Krau here, which his skill kit is released. We'll talk about it very, very shortly after I show you guys this. And we also have the Hillag Lance unit coming up right now. She's also releasing as a 4-star unit that you can get. She looks pretty good for PvE. And her animations are also released, obviously. Victorika, not Victoria, Victorika. Yeah, very, very cool. She's on a horse galloping like a lancer. And you're also going to see, this is another character, Rinak. She's from Wind Rider artifact, if you remember. She's also coming out, and she looks pretty cool, looking like an ML unit, honestly, with like the purple dark design. But she's another character that's coming out, and there's even more coming out that they teased. This is going to be Ross, of course. Yeah, he's giving off like Eren Yeager vibes from Attack on Titan, kind of. Just like with the long hair transformation, to be honest. There's like other stuff, you know, they're just teasing it all. Epic Hell, blah, blah, blah. New side stories, you know, just a ton of rewards. Just the game's getting better. You know, that's all you really need to know from this. Now let's actually look at the characters. So we're going to start off with Krau here. This is going to be Guard Captain Krau. I don't know if he's limited. I think he's just a regular character, right? We'll be able to see very shortly, but this is his animation. Looks pretty badass. And you can see, let me turn on subtitles. Oh, actually I don't need to because they have it. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. This is like what his skill kit is. And you're going to see that this is what his stats look like. So 117 speed, very fast for a warrior. He has very high defense and he has very high health as well. Everything else is just whatever. You're going to notice that he's a defense scaling warrior though. He's going to have an S3 that gives him vigor, which will give him, of course, defense and attack. And then also you're going to attack all enemies and absorb some of the health that you deal as health. Increase your own CR by 50%, and this will penetrate defense but cannot crit, and this scales with defense. And you can soul burn this to actually do extra damage, but it attacks as a single attack. So the soul burn S3 for a single target, it's going to be very similar to like Blue Krau where you're one-shotting characters. But this is the S3, I think, without the soul burn. Was it? Or was it with the soul burn? Yeah, this is without 8k AoE. Pretty decent. I just want to see, like, does he ever use it in the preview here as single target? Surely he does, right? So I just want to kind of find where he does. Oh, this is animation here. This might be the AoE one. Nope, single target. So, okay. Against the character that dodged, it did 20k damage. That's pretty insane. That means if she doesn't dodge, it's going to do like 30-40k, which is pretty insane here. So yeah, very hard hitting ability. Looks like it's going to one-shot characters. Be very good against evasion characters, as you saw. But just in general, it's going to hit super hard. Next, we have his S2. Single target attack that stuns. Also decreases CR by 50%. Very similar to Blue Krau's S2. And if you have Vigor, you're going to ignore effect resistance. Damage will scale with your defense here. So let's see what he does. This is on Abyssal Euthene. Doesn't do that much damage, honestly, but the stun and CR pushback is what you're looking for. His S1 is a single target attack that gives him combat readiness. A successful attack deals additional damage proportional to his defense, and the damage he does will do more damage based on his defense. So let's actually see. Yeah, this is pretty pitiful damage. Looks like he is mostly used for his S3 to one shot. And the cooldown is 3 turns, so it's very, very short. So you're pretty much just playing around his S3. And most of the time, I think you're just going to be soul burning, right? One-shotting a character is more valuable than doing like AoE damage. So that looks pretty good. Next, we have his artifact. At the start of the first battle, you get 10 souls. Wow, that's very convenient considering his S3 costs 10 souls. Pretty much you're going to use it on him. You might use him on like Rocket Punch Gauntlet as well, honestly. But you're going to see when you're attacking, you do extra damage. And when you soul burn, you do an extra 30% damage. So probably not. You're probably just going to run this on him. Pretty strong artifact. I think you're going to use this on him. And a lot of warriors might benefit because soul burn extra damage is pretty good. You're just getting, 30% extra damage when you soul burn, so definitely an artifact you're going to want to have. Now the big question is it limited? Is he limited? Or is he going to be from a regular summon here? So players will be able to meet, okay, so it is a regular character, Guard Captain Krau through the drop rate up banner. It doesn't say that it's a limited drop rate up banner, which they usually say. So I do assume he's just going to be a regular character. And, you know, looks pretty cool, pretty badass. I think everyone's going to pull for him because he's one-shotting someone in the preview, and he's like one of the newer characters of the update, so looks pretty strong. I'm going to pull for him and test him for you guys, so don't worry if you guys want to wait. But looks very, very fun. And then next up, we have Victorika from Hilag's Lance. And like I showed you guys, this is her animation here. And she's a fire knight, so pairing well with the fire warrior that Krau is. And basically, she, is straight out of the artifact. A lot of characters are coming out that are from the artifact, which we'll see. But, yeah, let's get into the meat and bones. So, yeah, very, very high attack and crit chance for a knight, which is very interesting. And you're going to see she's a pretty offensive-based character. First off, we have her S2. It's an AoE attack that gives her counter attack. Basically, just put her in the front line in Earth Expedition here, and you'll be able to solo the crystal, and you'll be in the front, counter-attacking over and over. Oh, this is Earth. This is Golem Hunt. Okay, that works as well. Also, you'll be able to use her S3, which is a single target attack, gives everyone immunity. You can see her in Earth Expedition now. Immunity is very important for this boss, so basically just built for Earth Expedition here. Did she just like... Oh wait, this is Golem Hunt. Okay, scratch that. Not Earth Expedition, Golem Hunt. But I'm pretty sure she'll be good in Golem Hunt and Earth Expedition. Next, we have her single target attack. It's defense break, so obviously, you know, just super good in PvE. Defense break is like the best debuff for PvE. She has high damage, she has counter-attacking stance, so if you're looking to farm Golem, she's going to be one of the best characters. You don't actually have to pull for her because she's going to be available just from regular summons, because she's a 4-star character, not a 5-star, right? And you're going to see that she's going to be pretty good in Golem Hunt. Now, the thing is, you don't need her because you can just use Fire Ross, and it's perfectly fine. But if you're looking to speed up the run, or if you're newer to the game, I guess, and you just get lucky and pull her, she's going to be very good in farming Golem Hunt for you. But yeah, nothing too crazy, that's what she is. Now let's look at what characters might be coming to Epic 7 in the future. So this is the special epilogue video that they were talking about earlier, and you can see Emil here. I forget what character this is. Does anyone remember? Please let me know. It was teased before, but I'm not too sure who it is. Just holding a stop sign. Is this a new character? Like, it can't be, right? It's an ML character because it's in ML Payra's universe. But yeah, this character is coming out. This character is also coming out. This is ML Arya, I believe. So yeah, that's ML Arya. I might be just completely wrong, but I'm just kind of guessing at this point. This character is also coming out. I'm not gonna even guess. But all of Vua's enemies. This might be a new character. It might be just an ML character, right? And then of course we have another character coming out. So you can see a lot of characters are coming out, and the biggest thing is, you know, artifact characters are coming to life. We have Hilag Lance, we have Wind Rider character, we even have Moonlight Dreamblade character coming out, and we have the twins from the Luciella's whatever, or Rihanna Luciella, like extra turn. Oh, I didn't mean to pause it like that, but yeah, those are the characters coming out. So this is the update coming. Kind of wanted to keep it shorter than I needed to. Didn't want to have like a 3-hour video on this because I honestly could have. But let me know in the comments down below what you guys are most excited for. I'll see you guys next video. Peace.